right, it is time to get back into the sewing room. This is the state I pretty much left it before everything. I made a point to cut out actually one of the, I'll talk about that in a moment, but the project that I'll be working on, which is Simplicity 9929. Made sure I had everything cut out, and I just have a few scraps on the table. Actually recorded packing some orders. Thank you all for your orders. But it is now time. Oh, and this here is a project I was intending to work on. As an upcycling project. I'll work on that sometime in the month of May. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get to sewing. Okay, so this is a whole new day. I just recorded a video for my other channel, and so I am going to set up and get to sewing. I will be working on, as I showed you, 9929, but one of the things that I am going to do, and I'm going to get a little bit more comfortable too, but I want to start at least today. Excuse me. And I think some of my, I might have to, oh no, I don't have to, I thought I had to remark. So one of the things that I did was I cut out 9929 the day that we found that we lost my mother-in-law. So and that was purposeful. Because at that time my husband was already in Wisconsin. So I was here, you know, everything went really fast. And so, and definitely hit different when you're not, no sickness or anything like that. But then things change and now you're getting ready to go to a funeral and services for your mother-in-law. But my heart really was aching for, of course, for my husband. But that day, I will say, when I was just kind of in disbelief that I had booked my flight. I knew I was leaving out the next day. And before I even started packing or anything, I just started cutting out. I was like, you know what? I am going to cut out this project because I knew I was going to work on it, but also because I didn't know what to do with my feelings at the time. And sewing truly is therapy. It's not a cliche. It's not, oh, that's just what you say and all of this. But it truly is therapy. It's very therapeutic, and not just when you are going through a situation like this, grieving, but even when you're excited. For those who are creatives, and so maybe this resonates with you. It's not just when you're going through a hard time, you're creative and you're sewing, but when you're excited about something. Even when we built our home, I was excited, and that, you know, the whole process was very daunting in building. The sewing kept me leveled and excited and was very therapeutic, because everything was like this, moving fast. And it was same thing with this grieving processing, having to head back to Wisconsin because we already had a trip, and we still have a trip planned in May, later in May. At the time I'm recording this, it's April. It's still in April. It's actually, today is April 26th. That first clip, I don't know what day it was like a week ago. But anyway, so, and we still have plans. The tickets and everything we reserved to go the weekend after Mother's Day, we're still going because we still have other stuff to do and to still visit with my family and whatnot, because we're both born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So anyway, I knew that day I didn't know where to place my feelings, my thoughts, or anything, because I'm worried about my husband and him being there by himself. Well, he wasn't by himself. I mean, family and stuff was there, but you know what I mean. I wasn't there. So I didn't know where to place my feelings. So I just cut out this project, because one of the things I knew for sure is that when I did get back into the sewing room, whenever I decided that would be, I wanted something already cut out, ready to go. I didn't want that task of having to cut something out and do this and do all that. I wanted it ready to go. And so one of the things I did do to help me through my feelings and what I was feeling that day was, and I didn't record any of that. Everything is not for social media. But that's just me. Content creator or not, I was not in no rush to get back to YouTube or anything like that. And I most certainly was not capturing moments like that for me that were very personal. I knew I would talk about it, but it's not something I captured of me cutting out and all of that. But what I did do was cut out this project with that fabric I had purchased from Joann's. If you remember, I had went to Joann's. It was maybe, I don't know how long ago that video was now. But anyway, I did a video where I did a small fabric haul from Joann's, which at this time that I'm recording this, I don't even know if I'm going back to Joann's ever again, if this was my last haul. Items that I picked up, but I cut everything out. And also, you guys, I have new glasses. Can you tell? I have on some new glasses. If you saw my post, I did post this on April 26th. I have new glasses. Actually, the glasses came in before all of this, and so when all this happened, everything just got pushed back until I got back to go get my new glasses. My prescription did change ever so slightly. I do like my other lenses, and so I am thinking about getting the lenses upgraded in my other glasses, my other frames. But that's expensive when you have to, and you can't send, at least not that I'm aware of. Y'all have to let me know in the comments if you can send some frames you already own somewhere and have them put your current prescription in them and send them back to you. Let me know. That would be awesome. Somebody out there, if they aren't got all these online places where you can get the frames and everything for cheap, you would think they would have that. But anyway, or I could always see, I have ordered frames online before, but for one, I'm not a switch up the frames person like that. I just like what I like, and I'll wear it continuously until I decide to change them again. But I do like those other frames, and it would be nice to switch out between these and the other frames. So anyway, so got my frames, got my hair done, actually did yesterday. So the day I'm recording this is 26th to 25th. We got pedicures last weekend. But anyway, so I am ready to go. And I am bending down. I keep getting out of frame because I had everything here on the floor. And one of the things I have been talking about I was going to do, whoops, I actually was rolling over. I'm wondering why the chair was moving funny. I accidentally started rolling over a couple things I cut out. But I might probably have to reposition you. Let me see if I can reposition you. Okay, reposition. So one of the things I have been talking about I was going to do, this is my window. You all seen my room. Those who are new, you are right in front of the one window that's in this room. And so I set up my sewing machines on the table. So I have two sewing machines and my serger set up on this table right here. My cutting table is over to this side. But I have been talking about using the Bernina. For those who are new, those who are not new, you already know this story. I acquired the Bernina Artista 180. I even did a whole separate video where one of the instructors from Sew Special Quilts came to the house to teach me how to use this machine and to get me comfortable with it, but I never started using it. And I always said, and Myra laughed at me because I kept telling her the same thing, that I want this, and I said this in another video, I want the Bernina to be my garment sewing machine, and then my brother serger is right here, and down here, if you can't see, is the Genome HD 3000. I want that to be my quote-unquote production machine for And when I say production, for those who don't know, I do have another business called The Fabric Boutique. I'll link to it down below. But I make a lot of the items for that. Tote bags, different things like that. But also for me, when I'm doing handbags, wallets, I like to use the Genome HD 3000. That's what I purchased it for. I do have a long-term goal and wish list to get the Sailrite. I think I've decided on the Sailrite and not a Juki. I don't want a Juki with the motor, although there's another Juki without the motor that I could get from McDougal. So it's up in the air. I keep going between the Juki, I forget what it's called, TL something or other, but it doesn't have the motor. It's without the motor. I do know that it's industrial, semi-industrial without the motor, but it's more industrial than the HD 3000, which will be nice for handbags and wallets and stuff that I make, and the different products and items that I make as well. But anyway, I wanted my everyday machine to be the Bernina just to get me used to it. I am a Brother girl. I love Brother products. I love Brother machines. The machines I use for the retreat are all Brother. So for those who are coming to the retreat in 2026, of course, you don't have to bring a sewing machine. For those who are not in the area or don't know, I am hosting the 2nd annual sewing retreat here in Texas in February. All of the details, you still have the a little over half the spaces are filled, so I have less than half left. But head on out, register. Payment plan options are available. It's going to be amazing. We have bra making that will happen, which is an optional class, but it's included is the trouser fitting class from Isabel. She taught this year, so I'm very excited about that. So come on. And plus, it's Valentine's weekend, and I have a special, I have a goodie. I have some goodies for y'all for that weekend, for spending time with me Valentine's weekend at the sewing retreat. But anyway, so tell your friends and come on in. So I decided I am going to go ahead and use the Bernina as my everyday, but I was sewing back to back to back to back, so many different things. I never gave myself time to transition onto this machine. And so I haven't sewn in almost a month maybe. And so I said, you know what, when I get back into sewing, I'm just going to start sewing on the Bernina. I've already been playing on it, everything like that. Let me just make the transition now while there's, you know, quote unquote, some downtime. I don't know when you'll see this video. I think that first week, full week of May, after I'm doing the sewing buzz. So if you missed that, go back and watch the sewing buzz. But anyway, so I'm going to get ready and work on this, and then I'll give you my review and roundup of 9929. I will say this is a very easy sew. I did go on to the sew along, because there's a sew along for this. It's only like 10 minutes. But I wanted to make sure that I was doing the band for the armhole right, and so the instructions, the sew along and the instructions, everything lined up. So, but anyway, and one of the other things I'm enjoying about working on this Bernina is the whole knee lift with the you know, the knee lift where you can lift up the foot pedal and everything like that. Loving that. But anyway, this top is almost done. I am going to go ahead and keep sewing, and I'll be back to show you what it looks like in the end. Okay, the top is done. So super easy to put together. Obviously you'll see it on me, but I am loving this color. It's like this nice oatmeal, and still then I get the points lined up. Me and points, or maybe I'll have to look at the line drawing again. Maybe I did get it fine. I don't know. I feel like it's not lined up right on the side. But anyway, maybe that's just me because it crosses over underneath the arm. But the sew along for this top is like 10 minutes. And the only thing I watched was that make sure I overlapped the armbands properly. But this is it. Now I am going to go ahead and work on the bottoms, which I modified into shorts, and then yeah, then I'll give you a final full review of the entire look. So that's what you will see next. All right, this is the final part of this video. I am coming in with a final review. I first want to say, if you've watched up until this point, thank you, I appreciate it. But I also want to say happy Mother's Day to all those who are mothers, mothers to be, desire to be moms, or in our situation have lost your mom either recently or past several years. And I know even from friends who have lost their mom, this day is still very hard for them. And so I appreciate you all for your prayers and your comments in the previous video. By the time this video go live, I should have responded to all of those comments. But I wanted to just wrap it up. This is going to be a quick review. I wanted to show you some pictures and a little couple twirls of me in Simplicity 9929. Since I started the video, I think it's been like a couple weeks, a little longer maybe. But anyway, I want to just give you a quick review of this whole set. Can I just say how much I love it? And before I jump in, I may have mentioned about the retreat early on. I don't know. We'll see how editing goes. But the retreat for 2026, I have some good news. Some exciting news, actually. I don't mention it as much because most of the people who donate choose to remain anonymous. And so I just thank people for their support, and that sometimes include people who have donated through the website. There is a page, I believe it's on my contact page. And then sometimes when people donate or have done offerings in the past, they wanted to remain anonymous, and they either said specifically what they were providing the money for, or they would say to whatever your need is. And so to those individuals, I am so super grateful. But I have some news. So having said that, there is an opportunity for 5 people, and there is enough room. There's still room for the retreat for 2026. There is enough for 5 people specifically that have not registered yet for the retreat to have your registration covered. The registration fee to hold your spot is $90. However, so I'm choosing 5 people. So I'm going to share this on YouTube here, in the newsletter. I think newsletter and YouTube go out the same time, and then I'll also share it over on Instagram as well. So if you are interested in attending the retreat, I will choose 5 people randomly. Leave in the comment section the word retreat, RETREAT, and I'll know. In a week from the day, no, not a week from the day you're seeing this video, because you will be seeing this video, I'm just pulling up my calendar, you'll be seeing this video on Mother's Day. I will close this out on Monday the 19th, May 19th, and then choose 5 individuals, and then excuse me, and then reach out and let you all know. I'm sorry, this will go, let's start over. This will open Mother's Day, May 11th, and close on Sunday, May 18th. May 18th. And I will select those individuals on Monday, May 19th, and respond to your comment here or over on social media, wherever you probably found this, or email or something like that, and let you know that I'll do a random selection of 5 different people. And yeah, the only caveat is, obviously, if your registration to hold your seat is paid for, is covered, then obviously you will need to sign up for a payment plan. So whoever is chosen, then the next step for you is really just to have me send you the link for the payment plan, for whatever payment plan you choose to be a part of. And if you don't know what those payment plan options are, I will leave a link to the retreat page. If you are new and have never heard about the sewing retreat that I host here in Texas, go check the description box. It will be a link to the video of a recap, and if you're following me already on socials, you would have seen a lot of that behind the scenes and testimonies on the site and everything. All your questions, where it is, what the venue is like, all of that is on the retreat page. But I was just excited to let you know that there are 5 new registrations. Your registration fee will be covered. It's just that you will need to start your payment plan this month, but by the end of the month, by what is it, 31 days this month? By the end of the month, you need to start your payment plan. So anyway, fumbling over my words, but that's that. So if you are interested in attending the retreat, 5 people, I will select and reach out on May 19th. This will be open from the 11th through the 18th. And yeah, your $90 registration fee is covered, or will be covered. And so, yeah. Anyway, Simplicity 9929. So the only thing I will say, this is, if you've watched, because you know this here is a sew along, has the QR code on the front of the pattern for the sew along, and Mimi G did the sew along for this one. And you all know that the intention of this particular pattern, or if you didn't know, I'll tell you, is intended to have unclean finish or raw edges. And so that is something to keep in mind. I only refer to the sew along because it's really an easy sew. While it took me, I think at the start of this, I was just coming back in town and getting my footing and everything. While it might have taken me 2 weeks off and on doing stuff in the sewing room, this is most certainly something you can do in a day, for sure. It is a really, really easy sew. As a matter of fact, the sew along for the top is like maybe 10 minutes. And I think the sew along for the bottom is like 10 minutes. And I altered my pants into shorts, which means I had to take in consideration the gussets. So let me share that with you. And I only watched the sew along for the top, just for the bands, because I wanted to make sure anything, I don't know about you all, but sometimes anything that has a crossover, maybe it's in the front, you know how you have a V, like this t-shirt. Sometimes for me, I can get not line up the pieces right, and it is always slightly off or something like that. And so while I did watch the sew along to make sure I laid it down right, I still don't think it's just ever so slight. It's like maybe a half an inch off that point where this is supposed to overlap. But I absolutely love this. I wore it to an event we had at church. It was a women's conference, a 2-day women's conference that we had at church. And so I'll pop up pictures and stuff. I wore it that day. I wore one of those days, and so had so much fun, and and I got so many compliments on this. People said they absolutely love it, and of course the ladies that know I sew, they were like, "You made that, didn't you?" I was like, "Yes, I did," and so they absolutely loved it. But anything for me, I highly recommend the pattern. Anything for me that has like this cow neck, V-neck, scoop necks, I like those looks on me, and being fuller bust and more narrow shoulders, I just feel like those looks, those drapes and type of necklines look really good on me. And speaking of which, for this particular pattern, these narrow shoulders, I love. Let me see if I can get this to focus. There is pleating detail right up here, and you will see I think I poked a hole or something up in there, and so I tried to fix that. Nobody will see that, but if you can see, there's some pleating right there, and I love it. It really helps with the drape of the cowl in the front, and I just love how that looks. And this here, oh, this is going to be fabulous for a look in the fall. The pants, so this is the top, and the other thing about the top I'll wrap up and say is the band that you put at the bottom. So for me, and I know I probably mentioned this on my channel, being plus size, fuller figured, and realizing over the years, going through my own personal fit journey and realizing what I like on me, I do like cropped things on me. For me, it will be in modesty always, but because I have noticed my torso, and I probably said this many years ago, sorry if I'm repeating and you remember or recall, but I'm short in the torso and I'm just longer at the bottom. And so over the years, I found that anything that really goes past the fuller part of my belly or hit my hips just look very oversized on me and don't necessarily look good. It will really have to be a specific type of top or something that I'm wearing, like tunics. You all know I'm not a fan of tunics. It just doesn't look good on me personally, but being fuller bust and have a fuller tummy. Usually if I make something with the tunic, and I just did in February for the BHM Pattern Designers Challenge, it was a Kalayla Ali pattern. The only reason I like that top is because it allows you to cinch it in at the waist. It's not just even flowing out, you know, those type of, those tops just make me, in my opinion, look bigger and feel just a little bit frumpy. So I like things to hit me at my natural waist, and so I like how this hits. I love where this hits on me. This is like a perfect, it's sitting perfectly for me, on me. What I will say about the pants, and so obviously I'm gonna hold them up. I made mine into shorts. Let me see if I can show you here. You will notice my pockets are not raw. If you watch the YouTube video, the Sew Along Mimi Sew Her Edges Raw, I turned mine under. Also, the directions tell you to do that. However, I did leave the pocket edge raw. And in hindsight, when I was doing it, I was like, why didn't I just fold over? Because I don't care for the raw edge look on knits like this. This particular look, I prefer that piece that was there for, because there's a pocket facing piece that I just folded it over like bias tape. And did that as opposed to just having the raw edge. It doesn't look bad at all. That's just not my preferred look. I also used, you will notice I did not do the drawstring. There's a lot of patterns you probably have seen me do where if it's elasticated like this, it also has a drawstring, and I tend not to do the drawstring. And it's because I'm like, why? But yeah, I'm like, why? Sometimes I can kind of see it depending on what it is. It really would depend. I can see maybe if I made some linen pants or something that had the elastic and drawstring, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, I chose not to do the drawstring, and I did not have, I believe this only called for 3/8 inch elastic. So I did have to make my casings a little larger because I only had 1/2 inch elastic. So available. I didn't have 3/8. And so that's what I used. And then what else did I want to mention? The fit of these, absolutely wonderful. I said, you know what? Because I always talk about, I don't use the elastic guide in patterns because they seem to never fit, or it's something about it just don't work. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to use the elastic guide. I first wrapped the elastic guide pattern piece around me, and it was about, I would say 10 inches shorter than my waistline. And I was like, this might work. And it did. It did. It does not fit too tight or feel like it's, you know, snugging or overly snug. It is very comfortable. I will say it is very comfortable. Now, the last thing I'll say about the shorts is, in the pants, there's this gusset that you add in the middle. Now, I did add the gusset, and I see I have a thread hanging here. I obviously still added that gusset piece, but I tried to guesstimate, like I knew how long I wanted the shorts to be. So I figured, okay, the gusset needs to be about that long as well. And so I was only off by like an inch that the gusset piece was too long, which I was fine with, because my concern was, what if I cut the gusset too short by accident? And so I cut it a little too long, which was perfect, because all I had to do was just trim those edges off and make sure everything lined up with the front and back pieces. And when I tell you, that worked out perfectly, and I probably would do that again, just out of making sure that I don't cut the gusset piece too short. But and the sizing, this pattern I have, the sizing is 1X to 5X. I went with a size of, and I should have cut, according to this, a 3X, but I saw Vanessa, who's a subscriber, and she's coming to the retreat next year. But anyway, she had mentioned when I talked about this pattern that she went down a size, so I went down a size. I went down to a 2XL for the whole thing, and which is a, okay, so the body measurements for the bust for a 3X, which is what I was thinking initially I would go to, because my full bust is like 49, and so it starts with the 50 to 52, but then I remember about the wearing ease and everything like that. And again, Vanessa, who's a subscriber, mentioned she went down a size, and then the waist body measurement was 44 to 46, so my waist is like a 48, 49. And I was just looking at, and I knew because it's elasticated, I was like, I'm just gonna go down to a 2X, and that's what I did for the top as well as the shorts. I went to a 2XL, and it was perfect fit for the top as well as the shorts. That was good. And so that's basically it. That's my full review. I absolutely love the pattern. Super duper easy to make, super duper fast, and I think this is going, I don't think, I know this is going in my TNT bucket, because I absolutely love this top and the shorts, and I can totally see this again in the fall, and I actually can see another set for the summer, but not not the summer like hot summer, Texas heat summer, but more fall-ish, making another one, because this is out of that knit that I picked up from Joann's, and it's comfortable. I mean, it was a beautiful day the day I wore it. It was sunny and everything outside. Because it's sleeveless and I made these into shorts, I was comfortable. I was not hot or dripping wet or anything in this. But when it gets hot with all our humidity, no, I will not be able to wear this, because it is just too hot. Tanks then are my thing. But anyway, that is it. That's all I have for you today. Let me know what you think. And again, if you are interested in attending the retreat and you have not paid your registration fee yet, put retreat down in the comments section, and I'll begin collecting those and select 5 people, a combination of off of YouTube, newsletter, and as well as Instagram people that see this, because I know some people cross-pollinate across different social medias and different things like that. So 5 people. I'm super grateful. Yeah, super grateful for that. But if you have any questions, let me know. But otherwise, I don't know when the next video will be. You will get another video, I'm sure, here in the month of May, but I believe I mentioned in my previous video, while my normal uploads is on Sundays and Wednesdays, the month of May probably will only be a Sunday video, and Sundays if I have anything to post. And again, not because if it's a lack of content or things to work on or talk about. I have plenty of that. It's just got to take care of family first and take care of some things first that actually have a higher priority at the moment. But June prayerfully definitely be back in the swing of things. All right, everybody, thank you again for tuning in today. I greatly appreciate it. You all have a blessed rest of your week, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.